supporting the single worst choice for FBI director in the history of the FBI, including J. Edgar Hoover, who was the worst FBI director. When we get past the Hegseth nomination, Kash Patel will feel the pressure that Pete Hegseth's scandals have been shielding him from. Kash Patel once worked in the Department of Justice as a federal prosecutor, and he now seems determined to destroy the unit in the FBI that has prevented a second 9/11 every day since 9/11. The intelligence division of the FBI is what is standing between us and the next 9/11. And here is what Donald Trump's choice for FBI director has to say about that.
The FBI's footprint has gotten so freaking big, and the biggest problem the FBI has come out of its intel shops. I'd break that component out of it. I'd shut down the FBI Hoover building on day one and reopening the next day as a museum of the deep state.
Needless to say, Russian state TV is very excited about Kash Patel taking over the FBI.
Ну, такая отличная команда идет вместе с Трампом. По Украине, правда, нет, а вот по всему остальному, ну, просто их вот допустить, они Америку за полчаса разберут на кирпичики.
Кэш Паттель, да?
Да.
Вот взяли его сейчас, его планируют, этого парня. Я его тоже лично, я полностью за то, чтобы он пришел вместо Кристофера Рэя в ФБР. Это еще один человек, там один такой же уже будет в Министерстве обороны.
Joining our discussion now is Democratic Senator Sheldon Whitehouse of Rhode Island. He's a member of the Senate Judiciary Committee. He chairs its subcommittee on federal courts. He's also a member of the Senate Finance Committee and chairman of the Senate Budget Committee. Senator Kash Patel is coming your way if he makes it as far as a confirmation hearing. You just heard Russian TV hosts saying what an excellent team is coming along with Trump. They will dismantle America brick by brick. They are thrilled about Kash Patel, who will be part of dismantling America brick by brick as far as the Russians see it. That sounds to me like a difficult confirmation hearing to survive.
It sure does. And but of course, there's no Trump-Russia connection, we have to remember. I think that he's going to have a very rough time. And at the moment, there's been so much attention that has been dedicated to Matt Gaetz and all of his problems, and now Hegseth and his set of problems, that when public scrutiny turns to Kash, I think there'll be a whole lot more stuff that comes out. And I actually think there's a credible chance that he never makes it to a hearing.
Yeah, in any other universe, of course, he would be the most ridiculous thing ever presented to the Senate for confirmation, but this is one of those years, or it's actually the only year in history where the slate is so full of the ridiculous that he has yet to have his full moment of attention. The Judiciary Committee...
It's coming.
Yes, I'm sure. Judiciary Committee will also have the Attorney General confirmation with Pam Bondi, but the Kash Patel confirmation hearing requires something before that, which is the president has to fire the FBI director, who has a 10-year term, still time left on that term. That firing is supposed to be for cause.
Be hard to identify the cause. For starters, Trump appointed the guy.
Yeah.
So there's a kind of the opening bid. I think the obvious problem from Trump's point of view with Wray is that even though he was willing to do things like roll over for a essentially bogus Kavanaugh investigation in order to get the favored, nominee onto the Supreme Court, in other areas he has not been a figure of absolute servitude to Trump, and that's the Trump standard, is willingness to engage in absolute servitude. So it's going to be interesting to see whether there's pressure to encourage Wray to step out on his own, at least nominally on his own in some fashion, whether he chooses to fire him outright, exactly how that transpires. But that's all just going to be part of the equation that will make I think Patel's hearing very, very challenging for the nominee.
Will there be some overlaps in the sense that isn't the Tulsi Gabbard nomination relevant to the Kash Patel nomination? I can imagine a world in which there are elements of these nominations that are creeping into each other's confirmation hearings.
Yeah, well, certainly the national security components overlap quite a lot. The DNI has a huge national security portfolio. The FBI's national security portfolio was expanded after 9/11 to try to eliminate the problem of the firewall. And so the FBI has taken on a significant role in intelligence support. So, yeah, I think there is quite a lot. I think the danger for Gabbard is if the Senate Intelligence Committee determines that our most significant allies and intelligence partners, particularly the countries referred to as the Five Eyes, signal to the Intelligence Committee that they are not going to be willing to share intelligence in the same way that they have been, because they see her as compromised and potentially somebody who would give up their sources, their methods, their secrets to Putin, to Assad, to somebody with a big checkbook, whomever. Mm-hmm. And that remains to be seen. But I think that would be immediately pretty fatal for her nomination. Hard to imagine that a whole lot of Republicans on the Intelligence Committee would vote to confirm a DNI and then have it come out that they knew that major intelligence allies of ours were going to take a walk on sharing often vital intelligence that we need because they don't trust her.